Welcome to Mima's Kitchen. I don't know what else to call it. I have the stables that we call Mima stables because I teach little kids to ride horses. But right now I'm going to expand on gluten-free cakes. One of the first cakes that I had to learn to make when I first learned to make the gluten-free cake was an angel food because I really missed an angel food cake. So you're going to need certain ingredients. Some of them I've already laid out. We'll go through them. But one thing you're going to need is superfine sugar, and this is the secret to angel food cakes, is you need superfine sugar, and you need 1.5 cups of superfine sugar divided into 2 halves of 3/4 cups each. So I have my first 3/4 cup of superfine sugar in this bowl, and I'm going to teach you how to make it. This is just my regular brown sugar. I'm pouring it into my magic bullet. Thank you, Kath. And then screw on my lid. Now, if you're going to do a whole 1.5 cups at a time because you don't have a magic bullet, you can use your food processor. Works just as fine. And I'm just going to grind this up. So I just finished doing my magic bullet and turning my regular sugar into superfine sugar. I really do not need to remeasure it because if I put 3/4 cup in, I'm going to get 3/4 cup out. Don't know how that works, but it does, so there we go. So now I have 3/4 cup of superfine sugar in each of my bowls. To my bigger bowl, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of the all-purpose flour, the gluten-free all-purpose flour. Again, I'm with King Arthur because that's the company I started with and I learned how to bake with them. It was easily accessible. I'm going to add 3/4 cup of this. I tried the measure for measure with this recipe. I do not like it. It gives me a funny flavor. So I'm going to use this one. You want to make sure you get a full 3/4 cup. It's a little shy. And 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Now, I've already separated my eggs. Most everybody knows how to separate your eggs, but it comes out to 10 eggs. So I have 1.5 cups of egg whites. Then I divided my other eggs into 2 separate ones of 5 eggs each. I really don't like to waste my eggs, so I'm going to show you how to make lime curd and lemon curd later because I needed the lime and the lemons for the recipe that we're going to do with the angel food cake. So I make that. If you don't like lemon or lime curd, another recipe that I use the extra eggs for is tiramisu. So I'm going to pour into my bowl my 1.5 cups of eggs. To that, I am going to add my salt, which is 1/4 teaspoon. And I don't just drop it straight down. I like to sprinkle it around in the egg whites. Now I'm going to do 1 3/4 teaspoons of cream of tartar. I probably have the salt in the way. And again, I'm going to sprinkle it on. And I put it on my mixer, and I'm going to start mixing it until it gets foamy. So my egg whites are nice and foamy, so I'm adding 1 teaspoon of a combination of lemon and lime zest. I'm going to add that to there. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. And now I'm going to beat that until it's starting to come into a soft peak form. So at this point, my egg whites with my flavorings and the salt and the cream of tartar have gotten real foamy, and they've doubled in size, and they are perfect to start adding the sugar. So as I whip it up, I'm going to add the sugar. Now I'm going to turn the mixer back high until it goes into a hard peak form. Okay, once your egg whites are now at a nice soft peak, you are going to add your dry ingredients. And we're going to sift some in. And we're going to stir it. Don't get in a hurry to do this. You don't want your egg whites to collapse on you. You just want to stir in your dry ingredients. Nice and easy. Add some more. Our last of it in. working on the sides to make sure all of this flour that slid down the side is coming back up and getting incorporated into the egg whites. So I have all the flour incorporated into my egg whites. I'm now going to put it in my pan. Please note, I have not sprayed this pan. I've done nothing to my pan. It's clean, but I've done nothing to it. You actually need the cake to attach itself to the pan to keep it risen nice and high. So now we're going to pour it in. Now this is your only shot you have to get your top of your cake looking the way you want it to, because pretty much the way it sits in here is the way it's going to come out. So I take a minute and I kind of push my spatula through it to get it all nice and even and attached to the side of the walls. Okay, I'm going to get a paper towel. I'm going to clean off my oopsie doops here. I'm going to put it in the oven and I'm going to bake it. And I do believe previously it was 45 minutes, but I will check my oven and give you an exact time when it comes out. So my cake baked in the oven for 45 minutes. As soon as it came out, I inverted it on this bottle and let it cool for 2 hours. And you can see it is ready to come off the bottle. There we go. And now I'm going to put it on a plate. Going this way. It just fell apart. That's so cute. Alright, so I'm not the most coordinated person, but the cake's coming out nicely. Now, I'm going to get my small, thin, sharp knife. I'm just going to go along the bottom and make sure that it's loose off the bottom without trying to wreck my cake.